I bid you hello. Today we're doing a folder collaboration with the Ubermensch himself, Alex Norton at Valhalla Ironworks. We'll be stacking and attacking some flat bar to forge up a mosaic Damascus billet, which we're going to full send from Oklahoma all the way over here to Australia. Once there, Alex is going to hashtag collaborate all over that mamma jamma and make a folder, which we're going to auction on eBay 100% to charity. So check below for a link to Alex's social media and a link to his video about making the folder. Okay, so this is what we got planned. This is our billet of 15 and 20 and 1084. We're going to divide it into two pieces. The smaller piece we set up here for later. The larger piece we bring down here, turn it on its side so the lines are going up and down, and then we squish in the corners like an octagon and flatten it, and we end up with curvy lines along the side, right? Everything's bowed out. When we stack four of those on top of each other, we get some W's. See how the W's form from two of these on top of each other? We squish that down, bring them up here, and we stack four on top of each other and bring up our other piece from over here and put that on top, squish that down into a square. Then we turn it on its corners and re-square it, and we get this. And then we put four of these next to each other to make a bigger square, and we'll end up with a diamond in the middle. That's the plan. This is that first big chunk I was telling you about. We're going to divide it into two and then take the bottom piece, turn it on its side, smash the corners, mush it down, and make our U. We're going to clean up our billet and cut it into pieces. We'll stack those on top of each other, and on end we'll have U's stacked up on each other that'll look like W's. Yeah, that there's what old Steve's crushed W's look like an S fell down the stairs. We're rolling with it now. We're going to smash those down on top of each other, and then we're going to bring over our second piece from our original billet turned on its side and forge weld those together. Yeah, so this is the second piece of our original billet. We're going to turn it on its side and get it forged down so it'll fit on top of the rest of our pieces. Yeah, so stacked up, that's what that's going to look like. And just for kicks, I'm going to throw in a couple extra pieces of steel here and there to change up the pattern a little bit. We'll weld all this up, turn it on its corner, and re-square it. And then we'll cut that into 4 pieces, which we arrange to form a diamond, and weld those together. nice and square. So we'll get this cut up into 4 lengths and we'll etch the ends and see what those look like and then arrange them into our final billet. Yeah, I didn't etch it that great, but I'll draw on here what it looks like. You got to tile all this together, and I normally wouldn't flatten it this much if we were doing a fairy flip, but I've flattened it because we're not going to do a fairy flip. I just don't want to mess with it. So we have our piece like this. It's got the pattern on the end. We've got it pretty well flat. I'm going to stack those pieces on top of each other like this, weld it up, and then we'll draw it out lengthwise so we don't have to go through a fairy flip. Got to move the handle from here to over here and then forge it out. Yeah, so here it is cleaned up a little bit, and you can see before we draw it out that everything's nice and smooth, and those diamonds are going to draw out to be nice normal size and shape. And we've got our handle welded on. Let's see what happens. And what's happened is that some splits have opened up on the sides. Those welds that were, looking nice and good and tight as we were drawing this out have opened up a bit. So the chances of me forge welding this back together and repairing this billet at this time is extremely low. It's just extremely low. There's too much scale in there. I really have to concoct some crazy schemes to get this all pressed back together. And if it works, it'll be a miracle. It looks like it's actually coming back together and that the seams are re-welding, but let's get it out of the forge and take another look. Well, here it is. I sort of cleaned it up and etched it, and you can see the silver lines here. That's bad welds or scale inside welds, and there's no way this is going to hold up when I draw it out. So I am going to go ahead and draw it out. Ooh, look at that. I'm going to go ahead and draw it out so that the pieces fall apart, and then from there, maybe I can clean them up and try to re-weld them. I don't know. This may be a bit of a loss. So some pretty desperate and fantastical thinking. The thought that I can pull these welds apart, clean everything up, and then stack it and re-weld it. It's just not going to happen. Pure fantasy. Yeah, it's not just falling apart. Some of the welds are actually good. So I have to really work to get parts of this to separate. And in the end, it doesn't all separate. I'm left with a couple different pieces here that I'm going to work to sort of salvage and make something into, I'll probably just draw them out and make them their own individual billets. I'm going to re-square this larger piece, turn it on its side and draw it out. And seams will continue to open up here, but as they open up, I'm going to get in there with an angle grinder, grind the seams clean, take out chunks, and keep drawing it out. And I'll get rid of all the bad welds, and whatever is held together here, I'll just flatten and we'll use. Yeah, definitely not what was intended, but still pretty cool. I got 3 pieces here. I'll keep one of them, make a little puko out of or something, and I'll send these other 2 to Alex and see what he can come up with. Remember, there's a link in the description to 100% charity auction on eBay and to Alex's video of him making the folder and his social media. So you guys check all that out. Time to get this stuff in the mail.